Welcome back everyone to the next video in our ThinkorSwim tutorial series. In this video, we're going to guide you through how to place your very first stock trade on ThinkorSwim and a few different ways to do it within here. Now, beginning first from the monitor page, we spoke about it in the last video, but one way we can place a trade is by simply right-clicking on the symbol we want to trade, so in this case, Intel, and then either hitting the Add to Position button down below to add to the position to buy additional shares, or hitting Create a Closing Order to sell our position. So if we were to do it from here, if I was to come up above and hit Add to Position for Intel, you can see immediately after clicking on that, it took me to the trade page, and then down below at the bottom, we can actually see an order ticket was built to buy an additional 100 shares of Intel. Now, looking at this order ticket and breaking it down one at a time, breaking down one input at a time, if we start over here on the left-hand side, of course, the very first thing you're going to do is identify whether or not you want to buy the stock or sell the stock. Now, in our case, because we are buying, you can see the order ticket is in green. If I was to flip this over to sell, you can now see it flips over to a red line. I'll also mention for those of you who might want to short the stock, basically sell shares of stock that you don't own, all you have to do is put in a normal sell order. So in this case, if I didn't actually have shares of Intel already in my account, if I was to do this, if I was to sell 100 shares of Intel I don't own, this is automatically going to be a short position. Now in my case, since we don't want to sell our shares or short the stock, let's go ahead and flip this back over to buy. Then to the right here, we can then specify exactly how many shares of stock we wanted to buy. So in this case, my stock default is set to 100. So every time I build out an order, 100 immediately appears in here. But if I wanted to adjust that, all I have to do is double click on the number and then type in the new number. So in my case, let's say I only wanted to buy 50 shares. Go ahead and throw in 50 in here. And then the next input you're going to notice is over here on the right where it says position effect. But honestly, none of you should really ever be changing this input. This should pretty much always be set to auto because it automatically knows what you currently have. So if you already have shares of Intel or you had no shares and you're buying 50 shares, this is automatically going to be to open a new position. Now, if instead you were currently short 50 shares of Intel and you were buying 50 shares to close, this would automatically flip to close. So personally, I would never change this. I'm going to always leave it on auto and it'll just identify exactly what I want to do automatically. Next up, we can see the symbol of stock that we're trading. So we're trading Intel, INTC. We can see over here, it is a stock trade. We can see over here the price at which I want to buy it for, currently set to $22.45. But because this little padlock here is unlocked, we are going to see this constantly changing with Intel's current price. So you can now see it's at $22.46. But if I had a particular price in mind, I could just double click on this just like before. And then let's say I only wanted to buy Intel if it dropped down to $15 a share. So now because this order type is a limit order, it's saying only fill this, only buy these 50 shares if Intel were to fall to $15 or lower. And you also see over here, because I've got a day order selected, that means this is also only going to look when the market's open. So if we're in the pre-market or the post-market, if Intel were to fall to 15, this order would do absolutely nothing. It's only going to be active from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. But if I wanted to change that, I could click on the time in force here, and I could flip it over to EXT, for example. So EXT simply means I want it good for the pre-market, regular market, and post-market. I want it active during all three sessions, and if the stock actually falls to 15 or lower, go ahead and buy me 50 shares of stock. Now, if I still only wanted it good for the regular market session, so when the actual exchanges are open, but I want it to go out every single day, that's going to be a GTC order, good until canceled. So if Intel doesn't fall to 15 today, it'll go out again tomorrow and try again tomorrow. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, it'll go out the next day and the next day and so on until it actually fills or until I come in here and cancel it. Now, if we wanted the order good every single day, but we also wanted it good for the pre-market and post-market, what we could do is come down here to GTC EXT. So good until canceled, but include the pre-market and the post-market. So include those extended session hours. Now, finally, I could also just make it good for the pre-market, so the AM session, or the post-market, the PM session. We kind of skipped over it a second ago, but we could also change the order type here as well. So currently it's set to limit, meaning I'm specifying a price, but you can see here I could also make it a market order, just means I want the order to fill immediately, and I'll take whatever the current price is. We've got stop orders. So basically saying if the stock were to fall below a certain price or go above a certain price, I suppose. So generally this is going to be used on the closing side when you want to exit the trade, and ideally you don't want to take too big of a loss. You might use a stop to say, hey, if the stock ever falls below $10, sell it. I don't want to lose any more money. We've also got the stop limit, which is almost identical to the regular stop, except you put a lower end threshold on it as well, saying, hey, if the stock falls below 10, get me out, but I'm not willing to sell it for anything less than 8. So if for whatever reason it has a huge move in the pre-market and it flies all the way through 10, it's already trading below 8, I don't want to sell my shares below 8. Then we've got trailing stops and trailing stops limits, which are very, very similar, except instead of us putting a very specific price on there, like before we were saying if it falls below 10 or 8, we're instead going to say if it ever falls by 5% or if it ever falls by $1, which also means the stop is going to be following the stock as it moves up, always falling behind by whatever our stop amount was. The final two I don't ever see you guys using, market on close and limit on close. This simply means you want the order to wait until the actual close of the market, so basically right at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and right before that final bell, you either want to submit a market order to buy it immediately, or you want to submit a limit order to say, hey, if it's trading below this price, pick me up another 50 shares. But those will be the main inputs that we can use, the main things I actually see you changing in here. And then once we're happy with it, if we actually wanted to place this trade to buy an additional 50 shares, we would simply come over here and hit confirm and send. Make sure this little confirmation box looks right. Make sure it's saying, hey, we still want to buy 50 shares at 15. We can see the total cost of that is going to be $750 if it actually fills. And then to place it, we'll simply come down below and hit send. Now that that's done, if we were to go back up here to the monitor page, we can now see our open order right up here at the top to buy 50 shares of Intel if it ever drops to 15. Now, besides the monitor page, there are a lot of other ways to do that exact same thing. So just as an example, one place we could do it is from the trade page. Kind of makes sense. And from here, one thing we could do is simply come down below and click on the last traded price of the stock. So right here where it says 22.47, and if I click on that, you'll see it immediately builds out an order ticket down here at the bottom of our screen. If we were to delete this out of here, you're also going to notice that anywhere on this platform you see a bid price or an asking price. If you were to click on either of those numbers, that is one way to place a buy order or a sell order. So for example, if we click on the stock's current asking price, we're going to see a buy order appear at the bottom. If we instead come up here and click on the stock's bid price, you're now going to see a sell order appear at the bottom. If we were to delete that out of there, that basic premise follows the platform along everywhere. So if we were to look at the watch list over here on the side panel, over here on the left-hand side, you're going to notice that this little side panel includes a last traded price and a bid and ask. So just like before, if I was to click on the asking price for SPY, you're going to see a little order ticket appear down here to buy 100 shares of SPY. If I was to come over here and click on the bid price of Apple, you're now going to see a sell order appear over here to sell 100 shares of Apple. And remember, since I don't have 100 shares of Apple in this account, if I was to actually do this, this would automatically be a short position. I would be automatically shorting 100 shares of Apple at 234.30. Now, another way to do this, if I was to delete this out of here, a lot of people prefer to trade directly from the charts. So if we were to come up here to the charts page, right now you can see I currently have Apple pulled up, currently trading for 234.30 it looks like. And if I wanted to buy the stock right now, one thing I could do is simply click on the price right up here at the top. From there, I can either say I want to buy the stock or I want to sell the stock. So in this case, I want to buy it. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And just like before, you're going to see the order ticket appear at the very bottom of the screen. Exact same inputs we already went over, quantity, price, order type, all of that. And then when we want to place it, we simply hit confirm and send. Now, let's say we were to do this. We're going to place an order to buy just one share. And I'm going to adjust the price over here from 234 to 210. Now, if I do this, if I come down here and hit confirm and send, you're also going to notice that the price or the order type, you're also going to notice that the order gets displayed directly on the chart as a little green line going across the screen. So you'll notice right here when I hover my mouse over it, it tells me I'm trying to buy 1 share of Apple if it drops down to 210. And later on, I could edit that order by simply right-clicking on it and either hitting cancel order to outright cancel it or cancel/replace if I want to edit it. Now we've already went over that, but I wanted to show you another thing I could do from here, which is actually just drag the order up or down to the new price I want to move it to. So in this case, if I wanted to move it down to $200 roughly, if I was to drag it down here and let go, right now it's asking me down here in this order confirmation, are you sure you want to move this order down to $199.51? And in this case, if I was sure, we'll just come down here and hit send. And now my order has been edited. And if the stock were to fall down to $200 roughly, I'm going to buy that 1 share of stock. If I wanted to cancel it from here, we'll simply come over to the X on the right side of the little input here, click on it, and now the order's been canceled. But those are just going to be a few different ways to place a trade in here. There are probably 100 different ways I could probably think of off the top of my head, one of which is using the active trader ladder over here on the right-hand side. But for most people, this is a little too advanced when they're first starting out. I'll probably go ahead and link to some of my other videos covering this tool and how it can be used to place trades very, very quickly. But since most of you out there watching this probably aren't going to be like scalpers or day traders, we'll go ahead and save that for another video. If you're interested in learning more, definitely stick around for the next video where we're going to learn how to place advanced orders in here, also known as conditional order. So go ahead and click the link below, and I'll